I do not know. Did you mute?
Yeah, here we go. They're
I
back now.
did. I was wondering why you turned those down. I just
I don't know. Whatever. They didn't hear any of that. Hi guys, you just watched us
All
talk
right,
for no
hi guys.
reason.
Welcome to the
That's
Blitz
why
Breakdown.
Cody was calling us. Thanks, Cody.
Thanks,
Awesome,
Cody.
awesome,
Welcome to the
awesome.
Blitz Breakdown, presented by BlitzLytics.com, where scouting meets analytics. You meet the newest crop of off-field talent. I'm Jack Bourgeois. That's RobRob.
And
This
we
is
just
week
wasted
one.
all
I
that
lost a
damn
dog.
time.
All of that meant nothing. I lost a dog this weekend. I spent every day in the woods trekking for her, so I did not get to watch as much football this weekend as I wanted. That's going to recap everything we just talked about. Week one reactions, what we're on to now. Jesus, it's
Look, it's a
it's gonna be
freaking
our worst
learning
show
curve.
ever. It's gonna
It
be the
is.
best slash worst show ever. I'm gonna tell you this right now. I'm not prepared. We're messing up. We're worried about my dog.
It's
We're
it's
talking about it.
early, man. I blame football starting so late last night. I was up far too late watching football. Let's go
Yeah,
with that.
dude, your guys' whole Central East Coast time watching sports stuff is ridiculous. I don't know how you guys do it. I really, really don't. Let me get that. All right, now we're good. But what I was saying is, yeah, so I wasn't as prepared this weekend to watch football. I spent most of it, and I tried to recap as best I can. Typically, and moving forward, you will be getting good film breakdown and analysis. I will try to watch every game as much as possible, or watch every all 22 film, break that down, and have a good in-depth analysis for you guys. So it's gonna be a little bit more off the cuff, but if any of you guys know or love your dogs like I do, I lost my child this weekend, so I was in a crazy panic up until about 7 o'clock this morning. So thank God I found her. Thank God we're back, and let's talk some football, man.
Yay! Thank gosh, we're back. Shout out to Robert Woods for sharing my stuff on Twitter before
That
the
was
game
pretty
this week.
cool. That was pretty cool.
Called my dad. Oh my god, Dad! Robert Woods just shared my picture on Twitter. Greatest day ever. Yeah, it was super great.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, dude. Twitter, man, as bad as it is,
That
it's given me the chance to interact with some of my favorite players, dude. It's really awesome.
Yeah, what? Kurt Warner, Robert Woods, who else?
Um, uh, Ironically enough, a couple days back was Awuzie from the Cowboys. I can't say his name.
Oh,
Chidobe
Shadobi
Awuzie.
Awuzie?
I
Yeah.
did a picture of
Oh,
him, and he shared it. So here's the deal, NFL players. If I make a picture of you, you have to share it because if you pay attention, Robert Woods shared it. Good, really good game to open the season. Awuzie shared it, got a pick. I'm telling you what, I am the star maker. If I make you a picture, share it.
there you go. Enough said. Um, Man, it was a crazy, crazy weekend of football, though. I tell you what, like there was all kinds of stuff I didn't see coming. I mean, from the Washington Redskins winning to the
It's
Jaguars winning.
crazy.
I mean, the
They're
the
not the
whole
Redskins though.
oh damn it,
Yeah,
Washington
it's
football team,
okay.
Washington
The
football. I
football
told you
team.
it's gonna be a bad show today.
A football team leads the NFC East division.
That's
So,
crazy. A football team, the football team.
the football team. No,
The football team is in first place. I am shocked. Cannot believe it. I can, but I can't. Like when as soon as they said that Lane Johnson was going to be out, I was like, oh my god! Against that front seven, against that front four, they already have a banged up offensive line.
you know what
You
I
know
liked about it
The
most,
Eagles are lacking, offensively right now in terms of weapons. Miles
but they
Sanders
came
is
out
banged up.
swinging, bro. They came out swinging. They opened up was a 14-point lead. They looked okay. It looked like a standard wash, right? Because I'm going through my picks. I'm saying, okay, that looks like a W right now. All of a sudden, Washington's back in it. That defense is legitimate. Look, if you have any holes on your offensive line, pray that you're not playing Washington that week because they're going to get to you.
Even if you do have a
Yeah,
stud offensive line, I
they
knew
got
that was
through
going to be
everywhere
good, and I knew there wasn't going to be much of any time, like lag time for Chase Young to get up to speed because people are going to have to get up to speed with Chase
with
Young
him.
in the
Right.
NFL, and that showed yesterday. He dominated, but that whole front four dominated. They've got some pieces, man. That team, especially at least defensively, like that team could be really good
Yeah.
defensively. It's going to be a while.
It's going to be spotty offensively, but, with a defense that good, you can overcome some issues.
Yeah, I don't know. All in all, good weekend of football though. The Jags murdered about 80% of our Survivor League week 1. I knew this. I was like, man, if everybody's going one way in the Survivor League, you got to go the other. And so I was going to change it last minute, but everything was locked. Cody was really good about locking those up, making
Right.
sure we didn't have no cheaters like we did last year. If you're listening, you know you fucking are. Um, but so a good weekend, man. Even with the Bucks losing, I mean your Rams got the win. I bet that's got to feel good, especially against the Cowboys. Any win against the Cowboys, anytime I see the Cowboys lose, it feels good. It makes me
That's
feel a
good
little bit
dinner
better
then,
about
baby.
myself.
It's good dinner then.
But how'd you do in fantasy this weekend?
1-1. We know now that Cody's listening. So congrats, Cody. Beat me with the Darius Slayton late game push, and it really came down to it with me and him in one of our leagues. If I was one defensive play away from beating him last night. Had the Titans picked off any of Drew Lock's last 3 or 4 passes, I would have won.
What was he doing? Why did that defensive back jump in the air? Like it was like an easy pick, and you remember doing that as a kid, where you just like for no reason jump up to catch the ball?
Right, yeah.
Like that's exactly what he did. That was such a rookie ass mistake to make. You had no reason to get off your feet.
Cost me the week. But I was in another league. I needed Derrick Henry to get me 19 to win. Brother man got me 21, so thank you very much, my friend. 1-1, and the one I won is a money league. So if I got to take an L, I'll take it in the 16-team league that we play in and lose to my good buddy Cody and win in that money league. So I'll take it.
I went 2-1 this weekend. I had my teams. I had Clyde Edwards-Helaire and one league was going up against them in 2 other leagues. It was a good week. I got murdered in one. Like when somebody doubles your score, it's pretty bad. Especially when someone doubles your score after you were just with them the other day and tell them all about Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and then they take Clyde Edwards-Helaire and they kick your ass. There's a reason why we did not post our fantasy rankings this year. Like I know we have it saved on a sheet and we have the sheet dated now, but there's a reason. I'm tired of losing to my friends who do nothing but take my fantasy advice and then use it against me.
I'll tell you what. That's why you guys need to tune into the Fantasy Voyage with me and Cody Manning. I ran the numbers on our start sits last night. We only had 2 misses this week. Our hit percentage through the roof. Called them all. Shout outs to Cody who called start sits on 2 guys that ended up in the top 3. I'm in Josh Allen and Raheem Mostert. Yeah, sip that tea. Y'all don't know about that.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire leads the league in yards from scrimmage. Who said that?
You did say this. So
a couple of us said that. Right, I'm not the only one, but I did throw that out there on my hot takes for the season. I also did say, again, sorry guys about our
It hates me. There we go.
Our technical difficulties today. I don't know what the hell we got going on.
I love it. I love problems, right? Because we move on the fly just like an NFL team, man.
Dude, it's been a crazy week. I don't even honestly. This is as long as you guys are getting the show, I'm happy. Like I'm here right now. A couple of
huge games,
I didn't think
right?
I was gonna be here.
Lots of huge games from some players. Devonta Adams had a huge game. That was awesome for my fantasy team. Thank you quite, sir. You already spoke about CEH, who had a big game. Juju looked good. Big Ben looked good. Josh Allen overcoming fumbles to still be a top 3 quarterback. All right,
I got to make a comment on that one. We talked about this yesterday with one of my buddies who's friends with Josh or friends with the family back home and knows Josh a little bit. He was kind of mad at him. And he's like, come on, man, I've been talking about all season. And then he goes and does that. All right, that is, to me, that's not getting hit for 8 months. That's what that is. That is taking no contact and then just the ball coughed up super easy both times.
It is.
Like they weren't punched out. Those were both like blatantly his fault. I think that is a true running quarterback who probably has a little bit of that like Steve Young, almost who was it? Jeff Garcia. Remember when Jeff Garcia like tried to get hit at least once in the game to kind of get his bell rung? Like he needs a little bit of that. He needed contact. So I'll say that I'm gonna give Josh Allen a break on that one. He did still kill it in a fantasy perspective. He still dominated the Jets.
Yeah.
I mean, he missed a few throws, but he still looked pretty damn good
It's
for
Josh
week 1.
Allen. It's fine. He to me, I don't. I honestly don't really care about the turnovers for fantasy from him anyway, because he always makes up for, like, Brett Favre, a Hall of Fame quarterback, just did stupid shit, right? Because it was the competitive drive. Oh, I can fit the ball there, versus, oh, with Josh Allen, or I can run and I can get this extra couple yards here. And the thing about it is that when he does that, it's going to lead to turnovers. But again, it doesn't really matter with him. You know what I mean? So I'm not. I saw those turnovers, and Yoon was in the chat, our own Joseph Yoon in the chat, and he's talking trash about the turnover. And I'm like, well, here, wait a second. And within, what, I think 5 plays he scored. So I'm not going to ever let Josh Allen's turnovers be something that mess with me. I think he's going to be a guy who, yeah, he'll have a lot of turnovers even when his career is done, but the success will be more than that, just like it was with Brett.
Yeah, he carries the team in other ways. Like,
Right.
I mean, with his ability to convert third downs, with his ability to extend plays with his legs, and his size overall. I mean, that was impressive. But you know what I cannot wait now is now the Josh Allen Cam Newton games are going to be that much more exciting. Like that was impressive. Like,
Yes.
Cam Newton impressed the hell out of me. I will say I'll eat crow if you guys need me to eat crow, because I know I've been on this Jared Stidham bandwagon for God knows how long. But I did say if we have a healthy Cam Newton, if Cam Newton is healthy, then he's obviously blatantly, no questions asked, the starter. And then I can only imagine what he does in an offense where they're going to dial it up. Like, they're on a rental program with him. Like, they don't have to save him for next season.
Right.
If they don't want to, like, they're going to use him and abuse him as a running back or as a running quarterback all year long. Like, this is what they're going to get. But then what impressed me the most was his ability to throw, especially in the middle of the field. Like, he was threading the needle. Like, some of the timing routes, the slants, he looked perfect throwing the ball.
Yeah, the throwing the ball was nice, but seeing what Belichick's going to do with that run and option game, right? Like, that's super exciting. Even though I hate the Patriots, I love watching a masterpiece work, right? Like, that's just when the masters create, it's super fun to watch. Because again, you haven't seen that in New England, right? Nobody really has. It's been Tom Terrific for so long, who runs like a fucking turtle. Don't believe me? Well, Cam had more yards yesterday than Tom had in the last 2 years combined, or in individual season over the last 5 years. So you're talking about a whole new wrinkle. So does that mean that maybe Edelman is better suited, right? Like, because now everyone's looking at Cam and you get a decent running game, which, by the way, the split carries between the Patriots' backs is absolutely insane. Burkhead got run just as much as White and Michelle, and nobody cared about Burkhead in the offseason. So you can never trust what Bill's going to do. But Cam Newton looked really good running the ball. Looked like he wasn't afraid, right? Last time we saw Cam, he was a little skittish to me. Like, you could tell he was hurt, right? I don't think he's hurt at all. I think he's ready to rock. And they looked like they were actually having some fun. The Gronk spike, legendary. Getting the O-lineman involved on celebrations was legendary. I think Cam is a perfect fit with the Patriots. And this is why most of us had been calling Cam to the Patriots since the freaking beginning. As soon as Tom left, it's like, oh, great, now they're getting Cam Newton. This is why you play to the strengths. And that it is not going to be the Bills' division in a walkaway. I still think it's theirs. But if Cam Newton remains healthy, they're going to be competitive. I said in a walkaway. No Cam, this is a walkaway division for the Bills, because the Jets look like absolute dog shit. Without Cam, the Patriots would be there as well. So
so did the Dolphins, and
the
they
Dolphins
came about that far away from beating the Patriots. So, like, let's not get ahead of ourselves. It was impressive, and I'm very excited for Josh McDaniels, because you got to think, like, when you have Tom Brady, your options are super limited.
Right.
Like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, like, play calling wise, that people haven't seen before? Now, like, they don't know what they're gonna throw at him. Cam Newton can do everything. Cam Newton can still do the same timing routes and plays, and maybe not as well. maybe not to a perfection, like at a perfectionist level that Brady did, but he can run those plays and he can run all these exotic RPO style plays and do all this stuff. Like their ability to convert short yardage now, their ability to do everything, it's going to catch up to them. Obviously, people are going to pay to figure it out, but then they have to be able to adapt. That's going to be the biggest thing.
He looked like he had a nice rapport with N'Keal Harry going too until that fumble out of the end zone. That drive, he was looking for N'Keal, and N'Keal was coming up with big grabs, and then, of course, shit the bed there at the end and fumbled out of the end zone. But
same thing with Edelman, though, too. Like, him and Edelman were on point. I mean, it's he's throwing up here to down here, but still, he's hitting them perfectly. Like, I'm really excited to see what he does. I'm very excited to see what the Patriots. I've never been more excited to see like a Patriots game ever, because usually it's like,
we've known what they've been for 20 years, and now it's just new. So
yeah, I had to watch that game. I obviously had to watch my Bucs game, and that was a little bit more depressing. Tom Brady. This is what I can't wait to break down, and hopefully I can give you guys an actual film breakdown this week of it. But Tom Brady, I don't know how much you were focusing on that game, but there was probably 4 or 5 deep balls. I think 3 or 4 of them were PIs, like blatant PIs that the defensive back was just making sure they didn't give up a touchdown. Mm-hmm. But those balls that were thrown were spot on. I'm talking about like 40, 50-yard dimes. Like he was throwing, when he had time in the pocket to throw, it was perfect. Donovan Smith better get his stuff together, or else we're not going to have a Tom Brady for much longer. And I'm talking about we may not have Tom Brady next year if Donovan Smith can't protect the left side. Tristan Wirfs wasn't great either. That offensive line was shaky at best, and that was without having to face Marcus Davenport. But the Bucs were the same old Bucs. That's what was so upsetting is that first drive. Tom Brady looked so good. He ran the ball in. It looked so efficient. It was boom, boom, boom. Just move it down the field, call it good. Like that's all we have to do. Game, set, match. Like, oh my God, they came out, they stopped them, 3 and out, I believe, to start the game. Our defense played amazing. Like, I don't care what anybody says. Our defense can compete with the Saints, and if it wasn't for the pick six, if it wasn't for the idiotic kickoff fumble where they ran into each other, like it's just very amateur play, and that's what I've been used to, and that's what all Bucs fans are used to is amateur hour for 4 quarters long, and just continuously shooting yourself in the foot over and over and over again, one mistake after another, and Brady almost like he was still keeping his team in the game, and at one point was on the verge of bringing them back. They were down 11, I believe. And if it wasn't for that kickoff fumble, if the worst part about it is that ball was going out of bounds. They would have got the ball at the 40-yard line. Like, this would have been a perfect setup. They would have been, boom, ready to go, score one, and now the Saints are on their heels. So as upsetting as it was, and as much as I'm rambling right now, there was a lot of good things that I seen.
I'll say this as well. If the Buccaneers wake up this week and go on a tear for the remainder of the season, the rest of the NFL needs to blame Sean Payton, because that guy running it up, the bullshit with Taysom Hill at the end, you did that on purpose. You were trying to send a message. So if they respond to that message, it's your fault, Sean.
If Tom Brady wasn't motivated enough, you really want to make him mad. That's what I was saying. I was kind of happy they were doing it, because I was like, all right, we'll see you. We got this. We'll see you in Tampa. We'll see what happens that game. This game doesn't matter if we win the next one. It does not matter. That's all. It's like if we were on the table now. Not saying that we will. We're gonna go undefeated, but
sure.
We play the Carolina this week. That's a winnable game for the Bucs. That is definitely a winnable game. And the Saints right now are maybe the toughest team to beat in the NFC. Like, I still don't believe in Green Bay. The Niners didn't have their top 5 wide receivers or something like that. Like, they literally had everybody lost. I don't care who you are. I don't care how good of a running team you are. I don't care how good your defense is. If you do not have wide receivers, you cannot win. So for the Bucs to lose to themselves,
the team to beat in the NFC is Seattle, by the way. I'm just saying.
You think so?
Seattle looked fucking great, and they let Russ cook. They would have won by more without a couple of drops here or there. I think Seattle at this point, just visually from what I saw, they look like the class of the NFC. And once they start letting Russ, because again, the Let Russ Cook petition trended in the offseason on Twitter, and it certainly looked like Pete Carroll was down for it. And if they pull Antonio Brown like we've been speculating by week 8, and then week 9 he comes in, Jesus Christ, get off the field. They're going to be unbeatable.
Did you see how Jamal Adams had the most?
That guy laying wood, bro.
Oh my, yeah. But they rushed him. He had him rush the passer, I think, more than any other Seattle safety under the Pete Carroll era. So like all that, he's gonna get bored in that 4-3, that 4-3 cover 3 base defense. Apparently not. Like apparently that they took that shit to heart, and now they're gonna run every exotic blitz they possibly can with him. So good job on that one.
Yeah,
but
he looked damn good, man.
He looked damn good, but their pass rush is still like he was their pass rush, And this is let's be real. We're talking about Atlanta here, and Atlanta was going to go one or two ways. They were either going to boom or bust, and I'm saying they already busted because that offense did not look that good.
Oh, it was a little skittish, but again, it's Russ too. It's Russ. Russ is one of those guys. I don't know. He's like if Tim Tebow could play football, right? So
yeah,
he just gets dubs, and I'll tell you what, the NFC West is going to be a dogfight. These teams are going to kick the shit out of each other.
I mean, yeah, and that Niners game though, like how good was that? That was such a nail biter, such a back and forth. I think the lead changed 3 times in the fourth quarter. You're talking about Kyler Murray, who
DeAndre Hopkins, who he's going to get less work in Arizona, most receptions of his career.
Guess who took him in every league possible this year?
Get out of here. He looked amazing with Kyler Murray.
Oh man, he looks so good with Kyler Murray. They targeted him more than I think he's ever been targeted as the Texan. Like that was insane. He had more yards, he had more receptions, he had more targets than all of the Texans receivers combined.
Yeah. What a joke.
Like it literally, what was his was it just, did he do blessed? Was it like #blessed or something like that?
Yeah, right afterwards, yeah.
Yeah, right after the game. That is going to be a team to beat. And I was like trying to think, who was that? Who was that that said Kyler Murray is going to be the MVP this year? Was that you?
That'd be me.
Was that Roy?
That'd be me.
Is that me?
Roy's been a fan. Roy's been a fan, but I think I'm the first one who actually said MVP. So
you might have been the first one to say it, but we've all been on this. Kyler Murray is going to have a breakout season, especially once they added DeAndre Hopkins.
For sure.
And to be able to beat those two again, I think a full strength Niners team, that's a different story. But that's their full strength defense.
That's you're damn right. That's what I was going to say, which is the important part of the ball for San Francisco.
Jimmy G missed quite a few throws.
Mostert had a monster game.
Oh, man.
So it's not like the running game wasn't working. It's not like the defense wasn't all in the game. The only thing they didn't have is wide receivers. And let's be honest, you can't shit on Jimmy Garoppolo and say he's an inaccurate, not top 20 quarterback and then be upset when he's not a top 20 quarterback. You know what I mean? So I think Arizona, while yes, might be a small asterisk there with the wide receiving core being really just beat to hell, they still handled San Francisco while San Francisco's most important 2 parts of their team were in full swing. So kudos to Arizona. I think they're going to be very competitive this year.
I'm impressed. The defense played just as good as the offense did. Budda Baker is a monster. I mean,
yes.
He was one of my favorite people in the draft. Still mad the Bucs didn't get him. Still mad about that, but it's all right. But yeah, I mean, what's the biggest standout performance this weekend from you? I mean, because there's quite a few of them. I mean, Kyler played his ass off. Aaron Rodgers kind of apparently Rodgers is pissed.
That's the one I wanted to bring up was Aaron Rodgers, who looked like the old Aaron Rodgers. I don't recall seeing this Aaron Rodgers at all last year. They went 13-3, and I don't remember seeing this Aaron Rodgers.
Not at all. Not even close.
It was crazy to watch how mid-season form he was, right? Like, nothing there, throw it away, I don't care. We got 3 more plays. Nothing there, throw it away, I don't care. And then 40-yard bomb on a dime to his man. It doesn't matter. Aaron Rodgers looked like Aaron Rodgers of old. Yeah, man, I feel bad for Packers fans. I think Jordan Love will be okay, bordering really good, but if you'd got him a weaponry, man.
The longer Jordan Love sits behind Rodgers, the better off his overall career will be. But, yeah. Well, I mean, it looks like he doesn't need the weapons. Again, though, we're talking about a Vikings defense, a Vikings secondary that is starting, like, a ton of young guys. Like, I think they've got they've got Mike Hughes, and then they have 2 rookies starting, and Cam Dantzler and, darn it.
We're going to look that up. We're going to get that info right now.
No, this is called being not prepared, guys, and not having slept for quite some time. It was their first round pick. I can't believe I'm doing this right now. Oh, Holton Hill is there, and then Jeff Gladney. Jeff Gladney, is who I was thinking of, which was one of my favorites coming out, so it kind of makes me mad. But Cam Dantzler is one of my favorites, too. They are going to have a really good defense, but to expect those guys, those young corners, to match up against Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers, who's got a freaking ginormous chip on his shoulder, yeah, good luck. And that's the thing, though, too, is now look at this year compared to last year. That's one thing I think we definitely did not show enough respect is the system. Like, this is Rodgers' second year in the system. This is Brady's first game in the system. Look at the difference. Look who felt comfortable. Look who didn't. Look who, they were both making great throws, but it's just a way different situation, way different story. And you're talking about a defense that's just been thrown together this offseason on a very shortened offseason. So anytime any of these teams, like, look at all the teams that had continuity. Look at all the teams that had a majority of their returning starters and are in their same exact system as they were last year. Let's go through it. Chiefs obviously dominated. They have basically the exact same offense plus Clyde Edwards-Helaire. They have them and the Niners had more returning starters this year than before, but then the Niners lost all of their starters.
We didn't get to touch on it. Did the Chiefs not look mid-season form?
Oh, Chiefs are ready to go right now.
They had a holdout and upgraded the offensive line. Get out of here. You guys are you Chiefs fans are so lucky. Enjoy the time
Assimilate took some souls that
My God,
game.
opened up holes me and you could have run through together in a potato sack, man. Like,
speaking of taking souls real quick, sidetrack. Did you see what Trent Williams did to that linebacker?
Oh, yeah, like, get the hell out of here, like 10 yards. He looked like he threw that man.
That he should go to jail for that.
That's a crime.
That is a crime. You should not. All he had to do is be like, all right, I'm in your way. Like, I'm 3 times your size. But no, I'm gonna hit you going 100 miles an hour. Oh, with 100 pounds plus on you. Damn, he was twice that guy's size, and he had to have been going 15 miles an hour. Like, that was a dead sprint to a just decleater of a block. Probably going to go down as the best block of the season, and it's only week 1. Think about that, though. The Niners' offensive line got better.
They did.
That's gonna be a playoff, so something that has a huge effect come playoff time is that offensive line.
Yeah, again, it's going to be very important all season. The NFC West is going to be a hard division to win. You're not just going to walk into a 14-2 record this year. You not with those 6 games waiting on you in your division. So. You saw it last night how important it is to have health. It might be the most important. What is it they say? The most important ability is availability, and there were no receivers for San Francisco, and it showed. Do you think they call a guy like a Dez Bryant or somebody who's sitting at home, who's caught a bunch of balls in his career, like, we'll give you the league minimum. You want to come run?
Well, I mean, they had the chance to go grab Josh Gordon, and like they didn't try to do that. They've had the opportunity, and then everybody that even all the people they signed got hurt. Like they signed Tavon Austin, he went to IR. Like it's pretty bad. But then also we have to remember IR doesn't mean what IR used to mean now. IR used to mean you ain't coming back for most of the season. Now it's only a 3-game stint.
Yeah.
So I think I love that aspect of the new IR rule. I think that's amazing.
I do too. Not a big fan of the signing guy practice squad and then he can't sign other places because that takes an opportunity to get in the league away from some guys. But I do love the 3-week aspect.
Say that again?
When you're signed now to the practice squad this year, they can designate you, and then you can't sign to a professional. Like say you're a Ram and the Seahawks wanted to sign you, they could have done that last year. But if I have declared it, you can't go. Period. You're on my practice squad. I don't know how many players it is, and not every team is using it yet.
I think they're given 3 designations a week, so I think it's just the top few guys on the practice squad because they get to promote a few guys every week to the practice squad. So I think it's only like their top few players.
Yeah, but still, screw that. I'm not about a guy. I'm not about the whole don't give a guy. If another team wants to have you on the 53, then come on.
But if he's that's the thing is they have to be activated to the 53, and they have that luxury of activating guys every week and having a few extra guys from the practice squad promoted every week. So it's just an extra pool. So like it doesn't mean if you can't block somebody from taking your guy without having them on the active roster. So nothing really changes.
Okay, I misunderstood it then. I understood it as it was additionally a pass. Whatever. It's a crazy year, but I am with you that I like the 3-week IR because it really it feels it's less disheartening as a fan, right? When you see IR, you're like, oh, great.
Yeah. Done for the year.
Yeah.
Done for the year. There goes our season.
Yeah.
Right. Give it 3 weeks. We'll be back in a month.
There were some wicked injuries this week too. Vander Esch, who feels like he's Sean Lee's younger son. I mean, great player and all, but Cowboys fans know it's an injury after injury thing.
Why are the Cowboys? The Cowboys have a curse with collarbones. I swear.
Yeah, it's insane how it's transitioned directly from Lee into Vander Esch. But again, this as you know, Jack, because you're a scout. People who were going in the draft scouting the kid, you knew this was the concern with him, and it's just really coming to fruition. It was never can he play, because the guy's obviously got talent. He's skilled as all hell. Just worst luck in the world when it comes to injuries.
Yeah, I mean, but there's a lot of players that you could say that about. That's just
it's just what it is. Yeah. It's that's how it goes. Another one, Marlon Mack went down. If I see another person say that the Colts are going to sign Devonta Freeman, I'm gonna get in a plane. I'm gonna fly to your house. I'm gonna slap you across the face. The Colts are still loaded at running back.
Idiots.
I
know. Naheem Hines is gonna be like the number 1 targeted player. And
JT's still there, and they've got a couple other guys on the roster that are, in my opinion, probably better than Devonta Freeman.
Jonathan Taylor. He's gonna lead. He's still gonna do it. I'm still saying it. I said it earlier this week. He's gonna lead the league in rushing yards. He's going to take the rushing title this year. I think they're still going to heavily rely on Naheem Hines, who's somebody by the name of Cody Manning. This show
all off season
Cody Talks NFL would not shut up about Naheem Hines, and I'm like, dude, they've got Marlon Mack. Marlon Mack can catch the ball out of the backfield. Like, Marlon Mack's pretty good. Jonathan Taylor, like, they ain't gonna need him. Was I wrong? And does Cody know his team very, very well?
Cody's 100%.
Cody called this. Like, Cody's the only person in all of the football industry that it was calling this. There was no Colt beat writer calling this. There was nobody on NFL Network saying, hey, you need to target Naheem Hines. Like, Cody is the only one I've ever heard say that.
Yeah, it's because he realized his explosive ability, right? Like, you saw, most of us have only known Naheem Hines as a spot flex or a return guy, right? But when he gets in the offense, especially with a guy like Phillip Rivers, who Cody told you, like, that's the reason he was high on Naheem Hines. It's Phillip Rivers. Did you see what he did with Austin Eckler? You know what I'm saying? So, big game for Naheem. Mack has been listed out as out for the year now, so torn Achilles.
It's very sad, but if you have Jonathan Taylor on your lineup, like, you kind of were like,
get better, but next week is JT
it's kind of one of those ones, and it's how I I hate feeling that way. Like, you never celebrate anyone's injury, but you also, like, you break a lot of,
You're
like,
not.
rules.
So here's the
You
caveat: we're
break a
not
lot of rules
celebrating the
in fantasy.
injury. We're celebrating opportunity. Right. So
Exactly.
there we go. That's the caveat of that. We're not celebrating the
Yeah.
injury, just a chance
But
to
you
see.
do, I kind of, like, I go against a lot of my own morals in fantasy football. Like, I say things that, like, I would never say, but it's fantasy. And
Right.
I'm, like, really mean to my own friends and family because it's fantasy. And yeah, I'm just kind of a different person when you put me into fantasy football. I kind of become a ruthless.
What was it last year in the family league? My mom was like, "Don't you want me to let me have it?" I was like, "You're not my mom in this league." Like, it's what it is. It's like, no, this is different rules for different things over here.
Oh, that's terrible. It's so true, though. I would, I would, I would. I'm not even gonna say it. I'm not even gonna say what I did to my own mom in fantasy.
Right. I'm lying to her. I'm like, no, man, that guy's gonna have a wonderful season. Go on ahead and take that fifth string wide
Wow,
receiver
Brett Favre's
there.
still playing. Yeah, just
go
take him.
get Brett Favre.
Take him.
Yeah.
Oh
For sure.
man.
For sure.
Well, all right. Before we wrap it up, are there any other games that need to be mentioned? I mean, the Ravens smashed the Browns. That was kind of a no-brainer.
We gave Roy a
Baker.
little too much shit when he said that Baker wasn't going to be starting by week 6 or whatever it was, and that we were going to see a little Case Keenum in here. We gave him a little too much shit. Baker was trash. Baker looked like straight trash.
But that whole
OBJ
offense
doesn't look anything like OBJ.
Yeah, I won that. I'm gonna keep saying I'm gonna just like pepper this in at least once a year. Remember when we had
Mike Evans versus
Blitz
OBJ.
Breakdown to any of you longtime listeners when we had this Odell versus Mike Evans debate?
Mike, and what it turns out to be is Mike Evans was and is the better receiver, and OBJ is flashier, and you know what? He'll give you the big catch. Mike will give you all the catches, except for he doesn't play. Now all of a sudden, Mike doesn't.
Mike got completely shut out this game up until the one touchdown, and for some reason, man, like I wish I could pull Mike Evans off to the sidelines and be like, all right, when you lose your shit, the rest of the team, falls apart. Like as soon as he starts going off and like going after Marshawn Lattimore, like him, like he lets Marshawn Lattimore get under his skin. I hate it. I hate seeing it because it's so easy for Lattimore to get under his skin. And Mike Evans was really like, "Come on, bro, can we just play football?" And Lattimore's like, "No."
It happened last night too. Who was it got ejected? Was it Simmons got ejected?
Rashawn Evans.
Evans last night for punching in the face. Was it Jake Butt just stuck him right in the face? Yeah. We saw a couple of ejections this week. In Detroit, who was it got for the helmet? He tried to show him. He led with the helmet.
Jamie Collins.
Poor Jamie Collins. That was ticky-tack as all hell. He was like, I was just showing you, buddy.
To be?
Yeah, both sides.
Like,
you can't touch him, but...
You can't not touch the ref, so you can't headbutt the ref. Even if you're headbutting the ref to show the ref that, hey, he headbutted me, you cannot do that.
Insane. But overall, man, it was now, like, thinking about it, there wasn't a lot of games that didn't at least offer some watch value, right? And we talk a lot about, that game was completely useless, no playoffs, it was a shitty game to watch, score was blowed out. Looking up and down here, 10 points, 2 points, 10 points, 10 points, 9 points, 7, 4, 10, and then the Baltimore-Cleveland ass whooping. But 13, like, all these games were remarkably close. All of them. I'm sorry, Browns fans. Welcome back to being Browns fans, right? All these games, your team had a shot to win, except for Cleveland. Like, really? It was that kind of week where every game had something valuable to watch. You learned Casey's obviously the cream of the NFL crop, and there's not a number 2 to them. Look, Baltimore looked good. Cleveland looked really bad, and Kansas City looked like it was hitting on all cylinders and had enough wiggle room and play room to let CEH miss the goal line like 10 times. So I think they're the class.
I think minus the Jets and the Browns, every game was within one score coming in or in the fourth quarter.
Right, in the fourth quarter. So you legit had a shot as a fan to win that game.
Yeah.
So you can't really ask for more for a week one, especially with no preseason. Overall, the refs did well. There was no preseason for them either, so there were some blown calls. I don't think it was as bad as week one last year, though. I think there were worse ones. Again, I'm a Rams fan, so I know all the Cowboys fans out there going, the worst call ever, Jalen Ramsey. Cowboys, the fuck out of here. The league hates you so much, you're America's team. Yeah, okay. Good job, guys. I'm so sick of that shit. Because they missed the slap to the face on Jared Goff. Cowboys fans, you guys don't want to talk about that, though. You guys only want to talk about the pass interference. So, but I think in general, great week one. I'm super excited for the rest of the season. Super excited to see these rookies grow. There's some storylines that are building. That Saints Tampa Bay by the next Saints Tampa game. That's again must see TV because I think the Bucs are going to try and exact some revenge on Sean Payton for his bullshit.
Oh yeah, oh man, that's like I said, they're poking the beast, dude. They did that. The Bucs were holding them defensively. The Bucs played them the best they've ever played Drew Brees. I personally think they're getting after him. They were sacking them. There was multiple 3-and-outs. They did that because they knew the game was already won. The Bucs were already done, like kicking themselves in the ass for all the penalties, for all the boneheaded mistakes that they were making, for the miscommunication between Mike Evans and Tom Brady. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like this, it makes me wonder, though, is Bruce Arians' offense just too much?
Right.
Is it too much risk, too much no risk it, no biscuit? Like, can we tone it down? I'm sure they're gonna get it together. But at least like a little inclination of me was like, now I'm kind of nervous. You know, Tom Brady looked like a little bit of Jameis right there.
Where was the running game?
We did decent.
It was
going
okay. It was okay, but considering
it was better,
all that we've got,
been.
Boys, it didn't help enough though. It wasn't bad. Okay, so it wasn't Saquon Barkley rushing numbers bad. Stab that one into you, Jack, real quick. But it wasn't helpful at all.
I'm taking CH too. I'm gonna take that to the grave.
It wasn't your running game wasn't helpful at all. Was it completely non-existent? No, but did it help in any way get anything accomplished? No. Gronk looked old. Gronk looked slow. Fournette looked old and slow. They barely even sent him out on routes, though. He still looked like a fucking dinosaur when he was on a route. Like, granted, he's out of shape. He's out of football shape. He may be in great human shape, and you know better than I do. I've never been in shape. See all this here ain't never been in shape. So
round's a shape.
It's a shape for sure. But again, it's gonna take a couple weeks, dude. And like you spoke earlier about guys who need to get cracked a couple times before it sets in. Gronk definitely needs to be whacked a good couple times before Gronk comes out. So I'm not panicking, but
he played well in the run. He played well as a run blocker. Like, I think he's back in that sense. I honestly still think that O.J. Howard is just that much better. Like, right now, O.J. Howard is in his physical peak.
Physical prime,
and I think right now he's a better route runner. I think right now he's a better blocker. But I think he's definitely – I don't know about a better blocker. He's as good a blocker as Gronk. But I think Gronk's biggest attribute right now is as a run blocker. And then again, I just kept looking at it, and I'm like, all right, I'm just – you can call me a scout. You can call me, a head blitzlytics, whatever you want to call me. But I'm still kicking – like, I still don't understand. You had the option of going and getting Trent Williams and saving your old-ass – 43-year-old quarterback, or go and getting Gronk and keeping him happy so he has his buddy. Like,
no, you're right.
I don't understand. It would have been worth giving up a 2. It would have been worth giving up this year's 3 and another 3. Like, the Niners gave up so little to go get Trent Williams, and then it's the same amount of money that they're paying Gronk. And if you're paying Gronk $10 million just to be an extra blocker and a number 2 or number 3 tight end, what are you doing?
I will say this.
That bugged me. That did bug me.
I don't think anything about that Tampa Bay game, Tampa Bay New Orleans game, was unexpected. This is all stuff we told you. This is all stuff you and I have talked about. The people who are on the Gronk bandwagon, just chill it. He's buddies, and it's really there about the comfortability. He's not going to come in and be the Gronk of old. When they got Leonard Fournette, it was like, chill your britches. It's still not his job. Even if he ends up taking it, it's not his job. But we told you going into this matchup how the Bucs could lose, and that's exactly how they lost. You've got to be real with them.
I didn't see the Bucs. I didn't see the Bucs losing to themselves, and they beat themselves as much as you're going to get. We can give.
You think if Mike Evans, because the reason Mike Evans got one was he finished with one catch. Was it the touchdown? Was the only catch?
Yeah, it was a touchdown. Yeah, it was a fade.
He was hurt. He was hurt. We weren't even sure he was going to run it all. And
you could tell he wasn't running.
He was decoy all game. Yeah. All game, and the only reason he got the touchdown was because they stopped. The defense stopped. Like, okay, we're not gonna. He hadn't done shit. We're gonna move over here and worry about something else. So I think Mike Evans fully healthy. Another week with Leonard Fournette. Another week of Tom Brady getting back into football go. The guy's like fucking 50. You give him a minute. So, my camera froze. So. My camera froze, Jack. So again, I'll just what a great face to freeze on. Yeah, that's my what the fuck face. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and finish up what you got to say. But a great week one. Looking forward to week two.
Yeah, same. I think the takeaways we've talked about. I'm really looking forward to week two, which we'll break down. We'll try to get into. I think we're gonna start doing a Monday and a Friday show. So if we can get to a normal schedule. I think you'll see me and RobRob Monday mornings, and then me and RobRob or me and somebody else on Friday mornings to preview. So recap on Mondays, preview on Fridays, leading into the weekend. But all I'm gonna say is it was nice to see Big Ben back. I will say that. I'm not gonna overhype that. I think they could have lost to the Giants if the Giants would have played a little bit smarter football. They would have played a little bit better, but. I mean, what are you gonna do if they're stopping Saquon? That's the thing is that you can stop Saquon, you can do anything. Their offensive line is not good. I don't know if you've seen that block or that lack of a block by Cameron Fleming. That was terrible. I mean, they need to look into Matt Pert.
Steelers defense is going to be top 3 in the NFL, no question.
Bud Dupree may have been Defensive Player of the Week. Like, I'm not going through everything right now or all the stats, but Bud Dupree was a game wrecker. Like, I have never seen Bud Dupree look like a game wrecker before. I've always kind of thought Bud Dupree was, like, borderline good, borderline trash, like, some weeks. Like, he just shows up and then he doesn't. Like, he's always had all these physical traits. He's always been this big
Showed up this week.
Dude, he showed up this week for sure. I mean, him and JJ or TJ Watt, dude, that pick was nice by TJ Watt. Ooh, I tell you what.
Yeah.
Boy, I tell you what, that was a nice
defense is great.
Steelers defense can be legit. Benny Snell, I think, just took over the starting role because before before Connors got hurt, it was bad. Like he does not look like a good running back. He's not very explosive.
Roy has told you. The thing you need to do with Blitz is listen back. Listen back. If you don't believe it, listen back. We will tell you when we're wrong. I will admit when I'm wrong. Jack will admit when he's wrong. But the hits are deep. Roy took Benny Snell in our draft. Like he's not available. Like it's not a waiver wire ad to go get Benny Snell.
That's the only league I've seen Benny Snell taken.
Roy's been telling you this is Benny Hill. Jesus, we're messing up. Benny Snell's job all off summer, all off season. He says, no, this is Snell. He tracked the way that Bell did. He tracked the way that Connors did. He came in, he lost 20 pounds. He got a little shimmy back, a little extra shimmy on top of it. And he's still big enough to pound through holes. He did exactly what Bell and Connor did before him, and this is why the Steelers churn out running backs. This is why the Steelers churn out receivers, is because they get guys with skill sets, and then they work with them for a year or two and get that body exactly where it needs to be, get that vision exactly where it needs to be, and then we're just going to keep running these fucking guys out there to you. The Steelers' offense is going to be good. The Steelers' defense is going to be good, and I'm telling you, even with that big win over the Browns, they're going to win this division. The Ravens, even though they thump the Browns, the Steelers win this division.
Giants, man. It's the Giants. I'm sorry.
It's the first game back in almost 2 years for Big Ben. It's
The Steelers,
Only
the
getting better.
Steelers defense will probably play Lamar Jackson better than anybody else, but I still don't think it'll be enough. I'm gonna say I still think Baltimore's winning that division, but I could be wrong. I could be mistaken. We shall see, and that's the best part about this year is that we do not know anything. Even after week 1, we don't
You still
know
don't know jack. Yeah, you don't know shit. Like you
don't
know
know
anything.
Like the Titans didn't look that good last night. That was an ugly game. That was just a bad game. But I will say this: Locke does not look like a lock this year, even with his offense. I mean, I know he's down Cortland Sutton, but still, that offense don't look like it's going to be that
looked good. The problem I think with Locke is being young and not exceptionally talented. Like Patty's young, but he's an exceptionally talented. Lamar is young and exceptionally talented. They can overcome a couple of problems. A guy like Drew Lock has to have the continuity, right? So when Cortland was deemed out, I'm like, ooh, this is a little sketchy. And then you lose Philip Lindsay, ooh, even more sketchy. And then Melvin Gordon didn't look good at all. And all of a sudden you're like, well, it didn't really work to his advantage. So what I will say about Drew Lock is he didn't lose him the game, which is just as important right now for a guy like him. So even though the game was lost, it wasn't lost because of Drew Lock. You can take some things, right? He found Judy a couple times on some nice balls. He had the nuts to take a couple of balls and throw them down there. You know what I'm saying? When need be, wasn't afraid, didn't throw stupid balls though. So there were some positives for Drew Lock, but I think like I said, with a guy like that who's not exceptionally talented, it's hard to overcome a lot of those late game scratches when you were counting on a guy to be there, especially Cortland Sutton.
He's just not accurate. Like
Fant
that is his biggest issue.
Night.
I mean, I think what was he 66% completion percentage, but on some of those deep balls, like his accuracy is not there. His touch, there's very little to no touch on his throws. He's just not the arm talent.
Right.
He's got the arm strength. He doesn't have the arm talent. So I don't think the Broncos are going to be a tough team to beat, but I think they're going to be struggling to find wins. I don't think they're going to be as good as we kind of expect them to be. I think they're going to be a middle of the pack team that's going to give everybody trouble, but will not be able to get it done.
After watching them last night, it sucks Vaughn's gone because that really changes a lot of things.
Yeah, it did. It changed everything. I mean, it's the best player on their team.
But looking at him last night, do the Broncos not feel like that 500 team that a couple of breaks they're in the playoffs or a couple of breaks and they're a top 10 pick? You know what I mean? Like it's really they feel like that kind of team to me that if everything clicks right, they can still be good. But if everything starts to break like it did this week and Cortland misses time and your running backs miss time and don't get anything, then you're again, you could be looking at a 5-win team and picking the top 10.
So you got the Broncos. All right, let's just throw a few teams right now who may have looked good, but who are going to be at the bottom of the barrel. Who's going to be the top 5 or the bottom 5 of the NFL after week 1? I'm going to say the Broncos have a chance of being in there. I'm going to say, obviously, the Browns. I'm going to say, I mean, the Jaguars, like...
No, the Jaguars aren't bad.
Minshew's going to ruin this. Minshew's going to ruin this whole tank for Trevor thing.
I'm never going to underestimate a team in Florida tanking anymore. I don't guess. It's what's the running theme here. The worst team in football is the Jets.
Okay, so we got I'm going to say this. We got Jets, we got Broncos, we got the Giants, we've got... I don't even know if I want to throw the Dolphins in there. Houston.
They're only winning games when Deshaun is balling.
I'm trying to say, I just want to get this week 1 projection on where Trevor Lawrence is going because...
The Jets. The New York
you
football
think so?
Jets,
I was going to say, like, I think Trevor, I mean, the Browns will get it right because they got Chubb, they have pieces, they've got a defense, they're just a little bit banged up right now. They'll at least win some games. I could see the Jets completely shitting the bed. But then, are they willing to give up on Sam Darnold?
Yes. For Trevor, yes, I would be. The game score is way closer than the game was, by the way, in that Jets-Bills matchup. The Bills dominated. The score doesn't say it like the Baltimore-Cleveland does, but the Bills dominated that game in every facet.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Like I really am. I'm trying to think. I think it's gonna be the Browns, the Jets, maybe the Lions. Like the fact the Lions couldn't get it done, man, and Mitchell Trubisky like had a game against them. I'm like, all right, I'm over it. I'm over it.
No,
I'm on Matt Patricia's
have you
train.
seen the stats? He is fucking Patrick Mahomes against the Lions, bro. He
Oh, I did.
averages like
How are you gonna
350 to
let that guy be
400 and
Patrick
only
Mahomes?
lost one game to them. Like Mitchell Trubisky owns the Detroit Lions, and it's not even close. So I didn't know that going into the game, so I think the Bears are pretty terrible. Let's be honest. It was just not a great game by the Lions. I think the Bears are pretty booty hole too. Speaking of the Bears, I don't know if you just saw it, but Cody put it in our Slack channel. Allen Robinson has removed hashtag Bears from his Twitter bio and deleted all hashtag Bears related photos from his Instagram
Get out
after
of
week
there.
one, bro.
Get out of there. Trade him.
After
Let him
week
go somewhere
one.
where he can thrive.
Oh goodness.
Oh man, he was the biggest performer on the worst team last year according to our metrics. He had I think it was some crazy like I think he had over 25% of his team's touchdowns and his team's scoring and his team's yards, and that's with Mitchell Trubisky throwing the ball last year. So you know that's saying something.
Right. Right. Yeah.
He is the best. I think he's like the best wide receiver who doesn't have a quarterback to make him good enough.
Do you know who's lost a job?
Who's that?
Oh my God, Goskowski last night. 10 points left on the board, bro. If they
Oh,
don't cut
man.
him this week, I'll be shocked.
Yeah, but then he made the game winner.
I don't give a shit. It shouldn't have come. You left 10 points on the board.
They're gonna let it happen. They're gonna let it happen. He's gonna keep. I mean, that's the thing is Goskowski was kicking field goals back when freaking Mike Vrabel was still playing.
Right? So they're
Like
they're
Vrabel
boys.
Vrabel still has that like confidence in him. He's like, nah, man, he won a Super Bowl, like for sure. Like I got a ring because of this guy. I think their careers lined
I
up.
loved the silence in the state. The no crowd was great
Okay.
when he missed that last kick.
I got it. Allen Robinson gets traded to the San Francisco 49ers.
I'm not saying that's not happening. I would not be shocked if
What
hell
about that?
by tomorrow if he's a 49er, I wouldn't be shocked.
They could move some money around, dude. They could clear the cap space to do it. They could trade a few pieces like
Or just go in and fleece the Bears. You've got running backs. Give them one.
yeah, I know, right?
Just go fleece them real quick.
Yeah, the Bears are still bitter. Bears are still bitter about their Mitchell Trubisky trade.
Yeah, for sure. So
That's funny. But there's some other stuff they just put up in there. Where was it? Where was it? I seen a good stat really quick. Let me find that freaking stat. Oh man, I don't know. It was a good.
oh wow!
Josh Jacobs
Here's a
stat.
fun one. Goskowski, excuse me, has gone from the 5th most accurate kicker in NFL history to the 8th in one game.
Damn. Yeah, that was more. He missed more kicks there than he did in a season at one time. That's bad. That's just like you're old, bro. Like just knock it off. You know,
and
that's,
again, only been with the team for 10 days, and just coming off surgery too. So it's not a shock. It's just a shock because of name value, but situationally, you kind of knew it was going to be sketchy. I didn't know it'd be 3 field goals and an extra point sketchy, but that was a rough night for. Look. If you're the Titans, go home, have a beer, and enjoy it because you did everything you could to lose the game and still won it.
yeah. I couldn't believe it. You know what I was impressed by was Corey Davis. He looks like their number one wide receiver now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 1 week. It's
Right.
1 week, and then it also was a matchup, and then they kept playing that soft zone. So where all you had to do was run that crossing route in between the safety and the linebacker, and it was like an easy completion. I know A.J. Brown's like to take the top off, big play wide receiver, but still, I took A.J. Brown. I don't know how many freaking leagues. I think at least two of the 3 leagues I'm in. So I was kind of bummed. I was like, damn it. I don't know if that one's gonna pan out, but
No, it will. It will. Again, it's
still be
week
Roy
one.
Country, man.
I think a lot of this is week 1 shit, right? Like
Yeah.
we might not be able to have our whole defense go balls to the wall right now. So this is the guy we're going to make sure doesn't beat us. I think you saw a lot of that throughout the league this week. So I think next week you'll have a slight return to normal for a lot of guys.
Oh man, glad football's back. Glad football's back. Glad I get to actually deep dive this week. Um, Sucks I can't see you. Sucks they can't see you.
It's okay. They're used to not seeing me. It was a treat to see me at all. So.
It's a treat. Yeah, I know. We'll have to go back to the cartoon. Oh man, you got anything else though? I mean, I could talk. I could sit on this show and talk for the next freaking 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah,
about
no,
this
I was
weekend,
just so excited
I didn't
about week one.
I didn't even get to watch it like I wanted to.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited for week one. Even more excited now for week two with this. As good, like I said, as clean as teams were playing, it's a shock. You may be in for some quality football, even with some of these crappy teams, quote unquote crappy teams, minus the Jets. Again, I think the Jets are light years the worst football team in the league.
Yeah, let's see.
I think Gary Vaynerchuk tweeted "fuck" like 13 times.
Well, every other word that comes out of Gary Vaynerchuk's mouth.
You just knew he was watching the Jets game. You just knew it was Jets related. You're like, yeah, Gary's having a moment again.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Well, let's see how that goes when he gets our prospect encyclopedia in a Jets meeting.
Here we go.
Shh, don't tell him. Don't tell him. Guys, don't tell him.
Don't tell him.
Gary, if you're watching this, surprise. But I know you're probably not watching. But and of course he's watching. He's the biggest fan. Yeah.
But, yeah. We know him personally. We have steak dinner. He buys me beer.
I was on his Instagram show or his Instagram channel. That's all I know. So I'm kind of famous from that, you know.
Take that.
They're like people want my autograph because they're like, "Weren't you in that Gary Vee video at one time?" And I was like, "Oh yeah,
yeah, I was.
Yeah, definitely. I'm super famous. Yeah,
super duper famous.
Yeah, one time. Oh man. Well, I'm gonna say this, dude. This has been probably the most stressful week, freaking ever. I can't believe that I made it through, I don't know, I probably hiked 10 miles through the woods during Find My Damn Dog, and I got her this morning, and can't be more thankful, and I appreciate everybody at Blitz was so supportive and reached out. So is everybody else. I mean, I swear my friends and family care about my dogs probably more than they care about me, and I completely understand. So I'm glad this weekend's over.
Hey,
I'm glad.
I've
glad
always said it.
Over.
Dogs are the gift that humanity doesn't deserve, man.
Yes. I mean, this dog loves me. This dog loves me more than anything on this planet, man. You should see the way she is. And I come home and man, I was a bumbling little baby when I found her this morning. And I mean, I just pulled out. She's sitting right there in the road and just like sitting down waiting for me. She seen my truck coming. She just sat. It was the best feeling in the world.
She's probably pissed at you for moving so much over the last couple years. She's like, I don't know where the hell to go.
Yeah, I know, really. She's like, I mean, I haven't taken her from any truck rides, so really, like, if it was any of our old houses, shit, she probably would have been able to get there, no problem, no questions asked. I know right where I live.
Right.
But she went through the woods. But it's just good. It's just I can't thank everybody enough. Cody, everybody, Roy, I appreciate you guys with all the kind words. Jason, it means a lot, guys. I love you all. Yeah, let's get back to football now. Expect a nice deep dive into some plays, and I might have to do a Tom Brady Week 1 breakdown here coming up. So stay tuned. I appreciate it, guys. Again, thank you all for tuning in to this chaotic mess of a show. I said worst show ever, but probably not. I'm sure we've had some pretty bad ones. You listen to the very first episode of TBB. We didn't know what the hell we were doing. But thank you guys. I appreciate it. This has been the Blitz Breakdown presented by Blitzlytics.com, where scouting meets analytics and you meet the newest crop of off-field talent. Big shout out to our sponsors, Key City Brewing, Drink, Revel, Repeat. Check out Blitzlytics on all platforms. Please hit that subscribe button on YouTube for us. We're trying to get to that 1K mark. It's right there. We're just right there. So help us out. Hit the like and subscribe button. Check us out on all platforms. We are also on FanStream Sports, and I am live myself, Roy Countryman. Also do a weekly appearance on JP Peterson's show on 8:20 a.m. Tampa, and then it's also streams live on FanStream Sports. You know, just like a ESPN co-owned radio station. You know, it's no big deal. You know, it's just I appreciate you guys for promoting us and the Prospect Encyclopedia. Can't forget about that one. this bad boy right here, this beautiful
so
piece of
many
work.
names this week.
So many names
were in that book.
in here that broke out. And so we're going to have to start doing that, what Cody's been doing, and posting the ha ha ha, nana boo boo, I told you so's. And so there is plenty of content, guys. It's going to be relevant all season long. This book did not expire the day the season hit. This has got so much fantasy football relevancy, more so than I thought it would. And there's a lot of guys that broke out on the scene. So get your prospect encyclopedia. Go to blitzlytics.com/shop. It'll also be available, I think, next week on Amazon and on Barnes & Noble shelves everywhere. So check it out. Follow me at Jack Bourgeois, JACKBOOSHWA. Tell these people where they can find you, RobRob.
Yeah, find me on Twitter at RobRob Graphics. Also on Instagram, same name. Don't do a lot there, so mostly Twitter. But DM me if you guys are looking for anything. This is my busy season, so if you're looking to get any graphics or logos or anything made, be sure to DM me now so that I can get that to you. Also want to tell you guys, it's Tuesday, which means one thing for us here at Blitz. That's happy hour tonight, baby. We're coming to you live, 9/8 Central. Me, Jack, Cody, Roy, just like we do every week, hit you with 5 topics. We have a good time. Last week had a lot of laughs, man. It was a great episode last week. Looking forward to this week's. After week 1 of football, how can we not all be giddy like schoolgirls? So it should be fun. But again, thanks, Jack. Always a pleasure, man. I've been waiting to do week 1 again with you. We've been talking about getting to this point now. It seems like it's been months, but it feels like years because it's 2020.
These episodes are so much more fun when we actually have football to talk about.
Oh, yeah. So much. Not generating BS topics, just trying to make something work.
Seriously.
Yeah,
now
man.
we actually have content. It's beautiful.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate you guys. Blitz out.
I told you Todd wasn't done.
I didn't see a whole lot. I seen some. I didn't see a whole lot of Tucker just yet. He's got some gas in the tank, but he didn't
drop the hammer yet, but he's still here, baby.
All right, what do you got? You got any hot take?
No, man. The hot take: San Francisco misses the playoffs.
Oh, get that shit out of here, you hater. You hater.